is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to one of many videos we're going to be putting out today. Today's video, the first one anyway, is titled I'm Leaving, full stop. Universally disliked, although the liked dislike is not as engaged as usual, but there are more comments. I wonder why. Ignore my comment, best trip ever, all it cost you is the life of a beloved pet. How can you possibly be enjoying Vlogmas? It's been depressing and not at all Christmas related. First vlog back in Oklahoma should be taking your remaining pets to be microchipped and get them collars. I wouldn't be surprised if her very first vlog was her going to get another cat. Thank God this Tommy Wisconsin era was as boring as it was depressing, and it was really effing depressing. And finally, drink soda, I went home, I like pretzels, there saved you 4 minutes. Well, thankfully, I'm a picky bastard and want to go through all of it because bans. And because I want to use it as a good excuse to criticise Amberlynn, which you may have noticed in my comment. I'm going to add more words to it. There will be adjectives.
Hello, welcome to a new Vlogmas. I genuinely don't know what I'm gonna do after Vlogmas,
Allow me to help you, because you have a cycle, it's an annual one. What you'll do after Vlogmas is sod all. You'll spend some time with your mum, maybe record some bingo, some gambling. You'll then make some goals for our dainty girl, and those goals will be immediately broken. You will be, by the end of Vlogmas, be so far off track weight-wise, you will have to throw yourself into a diet briefly. Semaglutide, I reckon, because it will be funnier for you to fail again. You will then get yourself another pet. If you don't do it before Christmas, you'll call them Rarity Jr. for RJ, and you will continue to either fawn over Tommy, or you two will break up. Now, I believe breakup is likely, because then it will justify you not getting Rarity back, because you have no real emotional attachment to anything in your life, which is somewhat ironic from somebody who is a perpetual relationship type deal.
This always happens when I'm doing Vlogmas. I love it. It's so fun to be part of something that so many people are doing.
But Amber, for the first 9 days you told us how hectic you were, how hectic your life was. You had so much going on and we couldn't understand it, because it's more than you'll ever share and we'll ever know. You say it was fun, yet not a single video beyond the interactions with Tommy or Fed Bundy would at any point lend credence to the idea that this has been fun for you, unless a lot of that was recorded ahead of time, the fun parts, and the miserable parts were recorded in one block just cause. You do film ahead of time though, so I do wonder how much of this content was much like that compilation from yesterday, your greatest hits that you never shared in the first place until then, how much of it was a month ago.
It's it gives me a reason to film and upload every single day, and I like that, and for some reason I don't have the same urgency after Vlogmas. I don't know why.
There are two reasons. One, because AdSense is worthless at that point, verifiably so. I say this from experience. December 1st till I say the 21st, those 21 days are supposedly the best. Now, it does fluctuate and actually dips down to what it usually is. It's inconsistent unless you're one of the big channels or those AI bot channels that regurgitate the same clips from TV shows or memes while staring at the camera. Yes, I'm getting sick and tired of not recommending them and it's driving me insane, so I've stopped watching shorts now. Thank you, YouTube, for ruining the entire idea of it. For you, though, it's another reason. You see, you like short-term goals. Afterwards, you don't know what to do because you lack the creativity. You've always lacked it. When you were a mukbang channel, it was easy. You just pulled out some food and started eating it and saying some random BS. When you started vlogging, you had potential to do things, but because of your lackings, because of your weight, you couldn't do much vlogging. Your strength was the mukbangs because you had nothing else to offer. You showed an inability to think clearly, quickly, concisely, so you're not witty enough to be a live streamer. We know this because you're a bit slower than Chantel. No offense intended here, but that is pretty much true at this point. You don't know what to do afterwards because you know none of it will matter and it won't make you money. More so when your views have hemorrhaged. Especially if you, for example, leave Wisconsin without Rarity. That will lead to a greater exodus of your channel, and you know it.
So I'm over here oh my god, no, Vlogmas don't end. But we still have more than, halfway to go? I don't know, math. We still have a decent amount to go, so let me not, rain on my parade right now. Here is some unsolicited ASMR from Santa Claus himself.
You do have a decent amount to go, you're quite right. 14 days, if you stop on the 24th. I don't know if you'll actually upload on the 25th. My query now is, if you have that long to go, why are you wasting it with these really short videos? If you're enjoying Vlogmas so much, why have you done nothing during Vlogmas? You are very much at this point doing a Jack Doherty. You have nothing to offer, so you're milking your audience for what little you can get from them. You don't have a Patreon, you don't have a Subscribe Star, you don't have Streamlabs, so whatever income you're making is coming from YouTube and or TikTok, and cameos maybe. I don't know if anyone actually pays for that crap. I do know though on TikTok you uploaded one of the clips from your greatest hits of yesterday, and it got 3.7 million views. That may well translate to a couple cents. So chances are you are pulling in some reasonable money over there at least, because you sure as heck aren't on YouTube. I fully expect you to make a transition over to full-time TikToker in the near future, because this platform may not be for you if you don't change, well, your course, really.
Not me having no nails at all. I purposely swallowed super hard as part of the ASMR. Okay, so I've gotten so many people asking about my cameo because sometimes I just like go through months where I don't do any cameos at all, but people are like, oh my god, it's Christmas, like I want to get a cameo for my uncle, my sister, my best friend.
Do you get orders though? This is a query. If you get orders and you don't honor the agreement of the order, surely by extension then you're violating rules? I took the liberty of also going to your cameo page. And I was intrigued by this because after getting through a verification page, you have sending messages, which would cost me £3.89. I won't deny, there is a tiny part of my brain that's like, if I shill my Streamlabs or coffee here, I could drop her a DM, but I really don't want to. I wouldn't want to place an order after hearing how you butchered my name last time, which was years ago at this point. Considering this is an avenue of revenue you should consider when your YouTube revenue is depleting and diminishing significantly, don't forget here you started the year with a guarantee of 50k views per video. Now you're down to near 30. You've lost nearly 40% of your views, which while during December may not impact you too badly on money, you might still make as much money as you would 50,000 views in January, means when you go into January, you're going to be making even less. So cameo wouldn't be the worst idea in the world now, would it? Back to the original thing of, do you really get people asking?
And I'm honestly not sure if I'm gonna open cameos for December. I might open them in January or February. I just have a lot going on right now.
She's got a point there. She's told us in every single video. Think of it like somebody in a car as your passenger after a night out drinking, telling you they're not drunk several hundred times. They're totally not drunk, and Amber is totally going on with a lot right now. Getting on with a lot right now. Has a lot going on right now. Yep. Although it could be argued, it's very hard to film a cameo when your mum's coming to pick you up from Wisconsin. 19-hour car journey? Not the easiest, am I right, fellas? Ladies? Others? Folk.
I truly like to give my all in my cameos since people are paying for them. It's like a little bit different from my YouTube because it is free.
I thought what I'd do here is insert one of many clips that exist as a compilation of your cameos. In the past I've criticised them because you had a habit, certainly in the earlier days of using the platform, of simply making the cameo all about yourself, which seemed to defeat the point but fed right well into your narcissism, quite frankly.
Is this thing on? Amberlynn Reid has a cameo. Please, let's chat. Let me do a shout out for y'all. I love you guys so much. Hello, Shani. I hope that I am pronouncing your name right. If I'm not, I'm very, very sorry. I'm gonna feel so bad about it. But, you know what? I have days where I am just not productive at all. And then there are days where I know I need to be productive. So
you did a cameo for Shani? Was this one of the ones where you were trolled and you fell for it?
There's just a certain type of like pep in my step that I need for cameos that I just like don't have right now. I'm sorry, but I will definitely tell you guys when I'm doing cameos again.
It'll be in January, February when there's absolutely zero to be made on AdSense and she needs to offset her income because TikTok won't be enough. I'm wondering when TikTok will finally catch up in the comments section because they haven't yet, and notice, like on YouTube, how much of a train wreck and embarrassment you are to the human species.
But thank you guys so much for even wanting cameos for me. Like, it just means the world. Okay, you guys, so I kind of just, like, need to rip the Band-Aid off in this moment. I have been prolonging this conversation. It has been something that I'm also trying to deal with behind the scenes. I have been going back and forth between Do I go back to Oklahoma or do I stay here for a little bit longer?
The correct answer is the following. If Tommy does not want you to stay there for any longer, you get a hotel. Why? So you two can, from separate locations, because that actually might be beneficial to spread the net, find your cat. And then you go back to Oklahoma once you have your cat. Actually, before you do that, you get them both microchipped, dog included, put collars on them all, and maybe, just maybe, when you go outside or you allow them outside, perhaps they have a harness on to ensure they don't walk away from you while you try to catch up with them like a South Park character, hopping from side to side with your weird looking running I showed you yesterday where you squeaked. But as I said earlier in the week when you were using past tense to talk about Tommy looking for your cat, I had the feeling you were going to go home.
And I think ultimately the right choice is going back to Oklahoma. So that has been something I've been doing, like I said, behind the scenes. I have been packing and getting ready for that.
You say behind the scenes. Literally yesterday, you were redoing your jewellery and makeup bags in your very crappy nonsense vlogmas video. We've been calling it for days. I called it again since the past tense reference to Tommy, aka Fed Bundy. Based on the fact that you've been so miserable, it would make sense you leave, but not without your cat. So until then, you should stay.
There's just things that I need to do there, and I really miss my mom.
I do not believe for 1 second you miss your mother. I think you and Tommy are on the end of this era, as it were, relationship-wise. It hasn't worked out. You're not in control. She's not around as much because she works, and you like to be in control of everyone you're ever with. That's why you and YP number whatever didn't work out. I don't believe you can miss your mum when you claim that Rarity is in your heart, and you cry about it, yet you don't care about your cat. And I know there's a separation between pet and human, but to me, the pet is a part of the family. Therefore, the disingenuous attitude and the fact you're willing to go home because you miss your mum tells us you've already forgotten about your cat. That tells me that take for granted Lynn Reid is very much here to live, thrive, and soon race her channel to the bottom, because I can't imagine your channel's going to go for much longer as more and more people flay you in the comments and abandon you.
It's a hard choice to make, I'm not gonna lie, but deep down I feel like in this moment it's the right one. I'm just really excited to see my mom, and I know my mom's excited to see me. She's been begging me, come back home. So yeah, she's pretty excited, and so am I. Okay, genuinely, that was super weird timing. My mom literally called me in the middle of me filming that clip. So back to what I was saying. I am going back to Oklahoma, and like...
See, everything you just said there confirmed to me that you've already forgotten about Rarity. I can't let that slide. The internet will never let it slide. As a whole, we view those that are so disregarding and so nonchalant about tragedies in such low regard.
I'm gonna miss Tommy so beyond much. Like, it has been amazing to fall asleep next to her and to wake up next to her every morning. So it does hurt to leave, I'm not gonna lie. I've shed a lot of tears, and I don't want to bother you guys with that. I don't want to burden you guys with more tears on Vlogmas, because it has been a lot. I've cried a lot this Vlogmas.
It's called clickbait, crybait, ragebait. Amber, you've been baiting your audience out with your emotions. Don't try and fob it off as genuine emotion. You don't have the mental capacity for such things.
So I don't want to give more of that energy, so I'm going to try my hardest to like just stay positive and look at the positive side of things and the positive side of like why I've made this choice.
Well, let's, as a final thing for this video, because she finishes by doing some random crappy taste test on some food, let's try and work out the positive thing Amber can take away from this trip. Firstly, she got to say briefly she lived in Wisconsin. Second, she's going back with less than what she went there with. I'm not saying that's a positive for me, I'm saying it's a positive for her. She still weighs more, so she is in fact still going back heavier than when she went there, but she's missing one living creature she no longer has to consider buying cat food, toys, treats, and bedding for. So that's a positive for Amber, isn't it? Because now she can actually vlog about something. Getting a new cat. You really are a cretin, you know that, right? This Vlogmas may well be for you a resounding success. I can promise you, for your audience and the comments in this video, it's not. And I can imagine you will stop reading them very soon.
Very moist miss. Ew.
Neggy moist miss.